Welcome to this channel. This is a general reading for the sign of Gemini. What won't resonate with you, please let it go. It's a general reading for the sign of Gemini. Ace of Wands, the Fool, Ace of Cups, so for some Geminis, they are in this moment focused on settling down or organizing a space or a place that they can call home. And this home, this physical place that Gemini wants to organize, wants to set up, is the beginning of a new period, a new cycle for Gemini. So somehow Gemini wants to leave behind some things in the past. Gemini wants to leave behind a previous life and wants to begin a new one. So this is indicating for us that it is a beginning for Gemini, it's a departure, and it's very important in this reading for Gemini to set up home, organize one place that Gemini can call home. Yes, Gemini wants to leave behind a cycle of life where Gemini has been saddened, where Gemini hasn't been happy, where things haven't worked out the way that Gemini thought, and this is related with someone. Yes, Gemini wants to leave a relationship. Gemini wants to finish a love story that didn't quite work out the way that Gemini expected. So Gemini is abandoning that situation. Gemini is taking stock of what has been lost. Gemini invested emotion, invested feelings, but somehow those feelings and those emotions haven't been reciprocated. So in this reading we see that Gemini is telling this person that Gemini has been with that everything is over, that things are finished, and Gemini is beginning a new path, is going to embark on a new trajectory, and this trajectory for Gemini is going to make Gemini feel empowered, is going to make Gemini feel whole again. It seems that in the previous relationship, or the relationship that is ending, that Gemini is finishing, didn't, not only didn't work out well, but I think that the general perception of Gemini was one of being of not being taken into account. Maybe Gemini wasn't taken into consideration. Maybe Gemini felt diminished, felt like everything from his or her previous partner was making Gemini feel small. It didn't leave room for Gemini to feel comfortable, to feel at home, to feel complete. So now that Gemini has taken this decision to finish with this relationship, Gemini is beginning a new life, is blossoming again, is going to feel, this decision is going to make Gemini feel complete, is going to make Gemini feel in command of his or her life, and is going to give Gemini a lot of, is going to begin a winning streak for Gemini. Here we see that Gemini is going to go into a financial and economic tendency up, but also that Gemini is going to feel whole, that is going to feel a person that is going to regain his or her confidence and his or her self-esteem. So it's going to be like a rebirth for Gemini. And where before Gemini felt sad and depressed and diminished, now Gemini is going to feel full of joy, full of happiness. There is going to be a lot of celebration, and I think Gemini will start a complete new life, maybe even making a new social contacts, new friends, a complete new life. Here what we see is that Gemini is leaving behind completely the past life and beginning a new life with new friends, with new attitude, maybe even with a makeover. So this is basically the message today for Gemini. If it resonates with you, please adapt it to your own circumstances. Yes, here we have again death, and in the same position, that indicates cutting ties with the old and beginning a new life. A new life, we see here also the Two of Cups, which shows us that everything is going to be defined, everything is going to be decided through a conversation that may be a little difficult, but it doesn't seem so bad. We have the Two of Cups and the Two of Swords, and we see that Gemini is turning his back or her back on the previous love relationship, the previous love affair that he or she had, and is beginning this new way, this new path, this new trajectory that promises to be very enriching, very profitable in more ways than one, and also that is going to show that is indicating that Gemini is also going to grow. there is going to be a great development in Gemini's personality, in Gemini's way of thinking, and even in Gemini's physical aspect. I think that here we are seeing a complete makeover. Once Gemini finishes with this cycle that he or she is leaving behind, Gemini is going to want to change everything about himself or herself. Change his or her looks, maybe even a change of wardrobe, a change of habits, a change of environment. And this is going to show the beginning of a great maturity, mental maturity for Gemini. And Gemini is going to also gain a lot of self-confidence and is going to embark in many new things that maybe before Gemini never even imagined that would interest him or her. Again, we see the King of Wands. The King of Wands that is telling us that Gemini is going to grow. This decision that Gemini is taking of finishing this this relationship that is no longer giving anything positive to Gemini. Gemini is going to see growth, mental growth. Gemini is going to arrive to a stage of maturity. And again, we see here that Gemini is turning his or her back on some problems. I dare to say that this relationship that Gemini is finishing has been cause of many disagreements and discomfort, and that maybe made life impossible for Gemini. So now what is Gemini facing is a new path, new horizons, and everything is opening up. That is, so if you are in this situation and maybe you are not sure about taking that step, what the cards are telling us is that this is the right step to take. Yes, again we have here the Five of Cups and the opposite, the Six of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. And here is the card that represents Gemini. The moment that Gemini decides to take this step, to finish with this old relationship that is not providing anything positive to Gemini, life is going to flourish for Gemini. Things are going to happen. Doors are going to open. Positive things will begin to appear. And Gemini is going to feel that he or she arrives at a stage, at a point in life where they're going to feel completely and utterly satisfied and in command of the situation. So this is the message that I have today for Gemini. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel, send us a comment, give us a like. Thank you very much for being with us.